Hi, and welcome back to FX PhD Photogrammetry Class 4. On this class, we're gonna see another example with way less picture. So what is very interesting here, it's a very different type of status. And we will see we will have different issue and see how we're gonna try to make our best based on those few pictures. So let's get started. In reality capture, now I'm gonna just create a new file to make sure this is completely empty. And now go back to workflow and click on folder, just to add this time, not the Santa Maria folder, but the Angelo, and click OK. Here you see we do have only 14 pictures with the 52 millimeters. Again, if you click on each picture, you can see the EXIF on each picture. I took. First of all, we're gonna just click a quick align images. And you can see it just takes him a few seconds to align. The difference we have now compared to the previous one, it's we do have two components, component 0 and component 1. So what does it mean? It means it didn't find a relationship in between those images and those images. Right. So what we can do, it's, for instance, if you go back to the 2D view here, for instance, and you click on this one here, you can see the angle is completely on the side. And if you tick here, it don't find any relationship between this angle and this and those angle here, because it's slightly on the opposite side. So because you're turning around, it makes stuff very, very complicated for him to rebuild the photogrammetry. So on these cases, for me, you do have two options. First, it's just to go in control points and manually try to find some relationship in between the two different components. So for instance, in between here, you can click on the corner of the eye or find like a very specific spot and then go back here and try to find the relationship in between. So it could be very time consuming, but sometimes it's necessary. So if you really need to have only one component and make sure we can use the total amount of the picture, it's very important you click on control point and mark manually each point. Also, what you can do here is to increase the amount of features per pixels. So here, for instance, I do increase slightly, I multiply just by 10 each min and max features, so I can increase the chance to samples each features, a lot of features for each pictures to make sure we increase the chance to line up each pictures. But even if you multiply by 10, unfortunately, it didn't make it. So it's absolutely fine. In our cases, we're gonna just delete component 0 here. And we're gonna use component 1. And it's gonna be enough here. So here, we do have different things. First, we have a massive bounding box. And now we're gonna go to scene. By default, you do have everything tick here. So the good thing is you can see every single camera here. So you can increase the camera scale, increase or decrease. I really like to see basically my work space and see which picture is taken and which picture, which angle, which picture is projects, and basically I do have a better representation of what's the photogrammetry software is doing. Also, here you can tick enable to see each camera and obviously thumbnails. So I can see on each pictures in the small square every single picture taken. So here again, we saw in the first and second class, it's very, very important to do a 360 because it cannot rebuild much, unfortunately. But it's why it's very interesting to see in our cases, what can we do with only this amount of pictures, so basically only 10. And with only 10 pictures, reality capture can do a pretty good job. We can see a lot of point cloud, probably from the sky, so it's not necessary. To adjust the bounding box, we saw we'd have to double click on the box, and then we can see the small gizmo appeared. You can reset the view here, and also what you can do, instead of doing this on the perspective, you can switch on different orthogamic view. So if I go on the left and I reset view here, you can see I can untick cameras, and then I do have a very accurate orthodynamic view. So I can definitely adjust properly my bounding box on the left view. I can reduce slightly this as well. Can keep a little bit higher because you can see the tail of the fish. And then on the right, again, reset view. This is pretty accurate already, so I don't have to do much. So this is perfect. And now I can go back to perspective and reset view. For some reason, sometimes when you move and the scale, you have to reset the view. So now reset view and go back to enable, and I can see properly my photogrammetry and all the pictures. Now let's go back to reconstruction. Reconstruction, and I'm gonna do a quick preview just to see the model. Yeah, it just took him a few seconds to do it. Reset view again, and click on the model. For some reason, I lost a little bit the scale. It's good enough. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. I don't have crazy thingy or geometry on the side, because sometimes it's doing this kind of thing. So this is very important. You don't have too much on the side. Let's go back here. I'm gonna do a normal because this is only 90K triangle. Normal. Again, it's gonna take a few seconds just to rebuild it. Let's go back in Maya just to see if I have an empty scene, just to make things ready for the export. Minimized, so you can have your the hand back to the software. And again, sorry, if you want to see the logs, everything is here. So this is very, very interesting. So you see just before on the log, we can see the progression bar and the percentage here straight away, but it just finished before I could see it properly. So it's even better. Let's go back to 3D, and I see very accurate geometry. So I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, let's reset the view again. Yeah, sometimes it's just losing. There we go. Double click on this. Now it's a bit better. So you can see the bounding box need to be a little bit adjusted. So don't click on the side, click on the box, Ctrl Z. I'm gonna just readjust the bounding box. I just press F. There we go. I'm quite happy. For some reason, between the preview and this, it just didn't work properly. When I just reset this, and like this, adjust again the model, go back to reconstruction, do a quick preview. I just cut the tail, it's absolutely fine. Increase slightly, preview. Very happy with that. Yeah, it's good enough for me. And now normal, minimized, and then go back to the log. And now I can see the percentage and the amount of seconds, and I can see as well the history or exactly what I did since I started this model. This is done. There we go, switch automatically here. So this is okay for now, because we don't have enough picture, you have to interpret the geometry. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna delete this previous model. I have my preview and my high resolution. Sorry, my normal detail resolution. Again, it's less than 1,000,000 triangle, so it's I think it's more than decent. In warp, I'm gonna just tick 2 UDIMs. I keep by default 4 glitter, so it's how it's gonna spread the UVs across the UDIMs. In warp, automatically the reality capture will put a checkboard by default just to see roughly how the UVs are applied to the model. And this is very interesting because I can see already how it did cut the model. And again, it doesn't matter too much, except if you want to do something very specifically. As soon as we don't have any stretches or anything weird, it's good enough. So before I'm gonna project the texture, what I'm gonna do is just a quick export here in OBJ. I'm gonna do here, not an FBX. I'm gonna do that at the end. How we call Angelo. Angelo version 1. Sorry, model. There we go, version 1. Quick export without any texture, so it's extremely quick. Let's switch to Maya. Import Angelo, just sorted by dates, so it's very easy. And because it's like almost a minion, take a few seconds for him to import the model. There we go. I do have it now. And yeah, happy with that. I send a quick model, existing lumber, just to get something. Rotates, just to see the model and if I am happy with the density. We're gonna see on the next video, how we can delete and clean up the geometry, because this could be in the same times complicated and heavy just to clean up the geometry. But again, because we don't have enough picture, you have to invent like a basic mesh to complete and close the hole, because it's very important to don't have any hole in your geometry. Click on the UVs. Yeah, again, 1 UVs is enough. So what I'm gonna do is make sure we have multiple UDIMs. Let's go to something a bit smaller, just to helping making a few UDIMs. Click in warp again. It's just to see 2 UDIMs so we can see how to import the texture in Maya. There we go. Export. I'm gonna just override the same model because there's no point. It's just because I cannot rewrite the model on the top of this one. Let's version 2. It's even better to create and increment the version. Go back in Maya and import again the model. Version 2. I'm gonna just hide this one quickly. On before, checking if you have more UDIMs. Brilliant. So I do have more UDIMs now. So I'm gonna delete this one and delete this one. So it means the UDIMs are working. I'm gonna bake now my textures. So I'm gonna click here. It's F9 just to calculate the texture and baked it on the UVs. Very, very straightforward process, and the solver for every single step are extremely efficient and fast, and this is very, very appreciated. And now I do have a texture baked, and you can see if you did spend a bit of time getting some control points in between the 2 components, as we saw in the beginning, you will have a better representation here. But for now, for us, it's just a matter to see how we're gonna move forward and import everything in Maya. So now I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, this is look very, very nice. Absolutely nothing yeah, we can always improve slightly everything, but for now I'm very, very happy with that. Let's export now in reconstruction, meshes, and let's call it version 3. And this time I should have some 3 textures. Let's save this. Yeah, true, export. Here you can select different formats. Let's say PNG for now, but feel free to change in different format if you want to. And you don't have to do anything else, basically. This is very important, obviously. By default, we have this because we use everything in Maya. We use mainly UDIM or like 100% UDIM, especially if you want to go back to Substance Painter, even if it's today is not using different UDIMs, but it's coming very, very soon. But Mari is the right software to repaint each texture and on different UDIMs. So let's press OK. Exporting. Here I should see different thing in my folder. Let's go in my folder on the projects. Let's go back here. Caches, OBJ, and yeah, I have only one PNG. Let's go back. I should see at least 2 different pictures. Yeah, 2 different pictures. So this is good news. Now I go here, back in Maya, import my model. Version 3. Perfect. I'm gonna, before doing anything, let's check if I have my right UDIMs. Yeah, this is correct. Assigning a new shader. Let's choose an Arnold shader. Yeah, brilliant. I'm gonna rotate this 90 degrees. Go back to my hypershades. In Based. Here, click on File. Go inside and picked basically version 3. This is the right one. You can recognize the UDIMs. Open. And now we change to UDIMs. So what we had last time, it didn't work because it was only a viewport 2.0. The only reason it didn't working. So if you switch back or you switch on Arnold and you press start, hopefully this is gonna work. So let's go back here. Let's see if we have the right shader. No, it was not assigned to the right shader. Let's make sure. Yeah, this is correct. This is UDIMs and this should work by default. So again, for some reason it's not working, but last time, the only reason it was not working, it was because it was only Arnold, sorry, the viewport 2.0. So now you should see something appeared with the texture by default. Here I should have, and maybe to restart the machine, but by default it should work perfectly. So this was again a quick go through the different steps on the different example. On the next video we're gonna probably see and again another examples just to get something a little bit more complicated and more diversity to make sure we don't have always the same kind of objects. So I hope now with all the different tips and how we go through the different steps in reality capture, you see it's extremely efficient and quick, and reality capture is based on GPU, do an amazing job. So the only thing you need obviously is a good graphic card. The better graphic card, the faster. But again, the way you take the picture, it's very, very important because it's gonna help reality capture to solve, align and rebuild the meshes. Thank you very much and see you on the next session.